Tyler McVicker is a menace. I'm not just saying that because it's catchy or clickbaity. No, he's proven it without a shadow of a doubt with recent events. If you're anything like me, you probably know him because of how spirited he is and was in creating content for people that were interested in games like TF2, Portal, Half-Life, and everything that Valve has to offer. He was very good at what he did for a long time, helping people understand the latest updates and did well to explain them thoroughly to be easily understood by anyone and everyone. He did a good job at that. I'm not ignoring that one bit. That's actually why I had a lot of respect for him for so long. And the thing is, just like many, I can say that I had respect for him, and I certainly do not anymore. I haven't been a fan of him in years. I always found his speculations to be pretty ridiculous and only being said to generate buzz around himself, and so he could selfishly have quotability when it came to predicting things right. With that sentiment, he's clearly a member of the media, that's for sure. Just like about the time before the announcement and release of Half-Life Alyx, where things turned out to be correct because of his data mining and stuff like that, he was often the quote-unquote authority on what was then called Half-Life VR. There's nothing wrong with what he did, really, but the thing that started to make me annoyed by him is the lengths that he would go to speculate and draw conclusions about what it was at the time. And oh boy, when he turned out to be right about all the speculation and proof that he had gotten through the smallest of things like in SDK kits, data mining, whatever else, he got a gigantically swelled head because of that. This man went from just as he loves to be called, a passionate gamer, to a madman obsessed with being a figurehead to the point where he could eventually do some harm. Now, I don't harp on him for being a passionate fan of TF2. He's one of many, and clearly he's fed up with the TF2 bot problem as much as everyone else. But what he ended up resorting to was so wrong, and just like anyone who else has been criticized heavily on the internet, he has half-heartedly apologized about it.
In the video, I described an idea where people would send their grievances directly to those at Valve that have the ability to make changes, and that was immature of me. I didn't fully think it through, and it was just a terrible idea. It was harmful to the individuals that work at Valve, it was harmful to the community, and it directed the conversation away from the hate speech and automatic bot problems that exist within Team Fortress 2 and more towards my terrible decision.
But that's what he has to do. He probably doesn't mean a single word of it. What this was in a recent video, Tyler McVicker went as far as to literally put the names and faces of prominent employees at Valve, as well as ways to contact them in order to hopefully get his fanbase to inspire some change.
Robin Walker is comfortable signing his name to Team Fortress 2. He's in the credits of the game, and he can also be reached at robin@valvesoftware.com. The Dario Casali is an individual who is willing to sign their name to this game. The current situation of it, he's in the credits. Dario can be reached at dario@valvesoftware.com. Gabe Newell is willing to sign his name onto this game. Gabe Newell can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Because remember, Eric Smith, who can be reached at erics@valvesoftware.com, is comfortable signing his name to this project. He's in the credits.
This is 100% not the way to do it. This is actively encouraging harassment and enabling people with the tools to do so. Now, it has to be said, a lot of this information is readily available and has been, like how everyone knows that Gabe Newell's email is gaben@valvesoftware.com.
I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com.
But the fact that we have Tyler out here encouraging his fan base of over 300,000 subscribers to go and harass people who really can't do much about the unfortunate circumstances we find TF2 in is so wrong for obvious reasons, and that can't be overlooked at all. I cannot respect this man, and I don't know how he possibly thought that was okay to do in the slightest. It's funny, he complains about the bots doxing people previously in the same video, then he does a form of it by sending his fans to contact Valve employees unsolicited through information he's clearly happy to be giving them. He has, of course, apologized, re-edited the video, and deleted the original, but the damage can't be undone, and I don't know how people can continue to respect a man who earns his paycheck through keeping people tied to him by speculating and going overboard for the sake of his own content. Here's what I see in Tyler McVicker. I see an adult crybaby complainer who's fed up with the state of TF2. He's having a moment where he's feeling betrayed by Valve, his favorite game company, for not doing what his entitled self expects. It's one thing to be mad about it because you're passionate about the game company, but his passion has also led him to making money off of his videos and talking about said company. So of course he's also mad he's only got so much speculation and stuff to talk about for a game that never gets content updates anymore, and has had the same bot problem for about 2 years now. More so, Tyler hates that players have to resort to community servers to avoid the botting problem. He, of course, also has a bit of a conflict of interest, or at one point he did, because he used to be a part in running the old TF2 community server network, Creators TF. It has since ceased operations, and he was always involved, but he clearly didn't want to continue financially backing something that's popularity was a factor because of Valve not fixing one reason for its inception, albeit partly it existed for fueling community content, and that became secondary in recent years. Even when it was running, and according to user idine2 on the creators.tf subreddit, Tyler was never exactly a fair guy to work with anyway, often threatening to remove team members and being able to do so because he was the figurehead, or as they put in their post, the PR guy. In conclusion, all I'm seeing here is a man-child angry with the world and angry with Valve for turning their back on him, and him not accepting how it's warranted when he's done nothing but prod, annoy, and harass them, even sending his fanbase to harass them for too long now. It's not even about him. The bot problem in TF2 harms everyone who wants to play the game. His server network he had a part in did well when the bot problem allowed community servers to thrive, and now that that chapter is gone and he clearly decided it wasn't worth supporting anymore, he's out of options. He decided to do one of the worst things he could have done in hopes of getting the attention he craves from Valve, something he's wanted the entire time he's been on the internet. Tyler, if you're watching, this isn't the way to do this. You should know better being a fucking adult, and you should be ashamed. Do better. And to everyone else, I and many others have no respect for this man left, and you shouldn't either. That's gonna do it for today. Thank you for watching and listening, and more than ever, take care.